There is the inside. Now that came from that one set I just talked about, the beautiful poinsettia. So, and then I don't know if you can notice it, but I took shimmer paint and stuck it in some alcohol, and then I just sprayed the whole red. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, I was doing it on white, and red is just as pretty as any of it. So, all right. So let me make sure my paper's in the middle. So the sizes of cardstock here are 5.5 by 8.5, and that's our base. Okay, and I'm going to save this piece for up here. So I'm going to set it aside. This is also my inside, so we'll set those aside. And then this piece is going to be our first layer, and we're just going to take and emboss straight onto it. I mean, this is a very, very simple card. So there's our stamp set. And I have already set this up on our Stamparatus, just because it was simple. Plus you can also, turn that around. Plus you can also ink it up one or a couple of times if you're not happy with the amount of ink you get on there. And we are using Versamark. We want it to stay still. We don't want it to move because I want to be able to apply several layers of ink to it with my Versamark pad. And I freshly re-inked it, so we're good to go. And I need to get in camera here. Oh, and you know what I need to do? I always forget that. I need to put that embossing buddy. Yep, without the embossing buddy, we are going to have a bunch of white powder everywhere. So I'm going to take my embossing buddy, just run over it, leave that out because I'm going to need it later, and go back to now. I have with the Stamparatus a black cushion under here because I'm using photopolymers. And I'm trying real hard to make sure that I see the ink transfer. So we're good to go. And I'm going to take the white powder. Just coat it. Embossing powder, this is just little pieces of plastic. I've got it on my hands. All I did was go back and blow it. There. Okay. And sometimes you can take a paintbrush and get up in there. I don't have a tiny one. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna heat it. It's not perfect, but you know what? It's gonna have to do. And the way you know that it's heated, finished, is it turns shiny. If it curls on you, just heat it on the other side and it will uncurl. Can you see it getting shiny? And now I'm going to take and remove this one. Well, I don't have to remove it, I guess. But this is the string. And I'm going to set up this one comes clear down. Yep. Put my magnet. I'm going to straighten it up, check it one more time. Same thing, grab the Versamark. You guys can't see that. Just ink it up. And I can see it transferring the ink, so I know that one's good. And then I will run it back through. And the reason why I did it in a two-step is because if I hit it, I would have to re-add the powder. It's just easier to do it in two steps. Okay. I mean, that's pretty well it. I mean, pull that off, that down. It's just putting it together now. Get that out of the way. Straighten my little workspace up. And so I'm going to put this on with dimensionals. There we go. In the trash with those little boogers, and I didn't get that last one off. Sometimes it's hard to tell. Okay, we're going to center this up. Put on our rhinestones. Got 3 little rhinestones. And our little, we actually have a tool with a spatula. I prefer my paper piercer. Or a pair of scissors. Okay, now I got to put on the bow. And if you ever need to straighten out baker's twine that's been wrapped up like that, just take and run your bone folder lightly over it, and it straightens it out. And I am going to grab a glue dot. Take my paper piercer, put it down, fussy with it a little bit. Okay, so the outside, oh, you see that little guy? Get over there. I must have not have picked up the glue dot. Nope. No, it's stuck to my finger. Okay, I think I finally have it. All right, so this is the inside. So I'm just going to take and I'm going to put some glue across the top. Glue it down, flip it over, and I mean, I could have cut that to size, but these were little strips I grabbed out of my scrap bin. and probably I should have stamped first. But hopefully it won't be a disaster. So I'm using garden green. I'm just going to put that holly across the bottom using Pear Pizzazz and Real Red. And you notice I'm not even filling it all in, just trying to give it a little pop of color. I'm using the brush side. And then here is the envelope, which I just left green. I didn't even bother filling it in. So with this, let me close this guy up and then I'll put the words on there. With this simple technique, this is one of our spritzers and I put in alcohol. This was 90%, so I had to dilute it with some water. But then you take the shimmer paint. Let me show you the shimmer paints. Okay. Shimmer paints. Here you are. Is that champagne? These are our shimmer paints. And this is Frost White. I actually put in champagne. See, I labeled it champagne, but this is how they come. And I'd put like 4 drops in there of that shimmer paint. And now magic happens. I'm going to spray. I've laid it on a little towel to kind of catch it. Boop. And you just spray how much ever you want sparkle. So there you go. Sparkle, sparkle. So there is that. And I need to go back to this and finish it. Where are you, little stamp? Little stamp. Well, there's the words. It does come in this. Is it in this? No, that's the wrong stamp set. It is in the beautiful Baubles. Don't think yep. It's in the hope you find beauty in the details. So it's in this set. So you get words and you get those beautiful. Oh, here it is. I used the Stamparatus. So see how you can set up the Stamparatus on you can have just pages, just different acrylic plates set up. Well, let's see if I can line it up. I'm going to pull it clear down here to the bottom. Yep, I like that. I'm going to grab some Real Red. And remember, you can just, now that ink won't get on you'll see it through there. It will not get on my cards. But if I don't like the intensity of the ink, then I've got a little piece of paper on there. So I'm going to re-ink it. And there you go. Very pretty. So let me clean that. You always should clean it too when you're done, because you'll end up getting that. And that's what's nice. You just pull these trays off, wipe it down, and it's clean. All right, so that's that one finished. Let me just put my stuff up, be organized. So I'll bring this back in. This is the one that I really spritzed. Really, really nice. So that's going to go on the inside. Look how pretty. And then the envelope has this on there, and you could color it in if you wanted to. So, all right. So that card is done. Let's move on. I'm still using the same, I might leave those leaves out there. I'm still using the same stamp set because I want you to see that you can get a lot of use out of this stamp set. I think that's the third one. So here is our next example. Pull it out. Now this is Blackberry Bliss. And this beautiful ribbon is velvet. I don't know if you can see that. And it's rich raspberry, and look how pretty it goes with it. And then this is, yeah. Blushing Bride. So, sizes of cardstock. Card base, 5.5 by 8.5. Then what I'm going to do is I've got a piece here that is your standard first layer of 4 by 5.25. And I cut it that way because I'm going to lay this piece up here after I do my embossing. Lay that up there and just glue it down. And that's all gold powder. So we'll get the gold embossing out. And I'm just going to take some Versamark. Oh, where's my embossing buddy? And I'm going to slightly be off the side there on this side because I want it to be it's more appealing to the eye to start off the page. I don't know why, I can't explain it, but so I'm using Versamark. And then I just have that little bit on the end. But I'm going to ink up the whole thing, so I'm not having to think about it. Okay, that is done. I need the gold. Here is my gold embossing powder. I'm going to get rid of that so I don't get mixed up. Where are my tweezers? Did not bring them over. At any rate. This is just beautiful. The blackberry and the gold is just absolutely gorgeous. Trying not to touch that end. All right, I'm going to heat it. Let's see what we get. See how it's curling? So I'm going to flip it over on the back. Just keep heating it. And get that plastic out of the way. Ah, get back here. Look how pretty. Oh my goodness. After 16 years of being a demonstrator, this still just is beautiful. Take my breath away. Love it, love it. And I did find that I had some old powder that I just had, it was Stampin' Up, but it was old. And it wasn't heating properly, so I went and got some new, and it works like a charm. So if you ever have any problems, look how pretty. If you ever have any problems, you may want to change out your powder. Okay, so we know that this goes here. Before I do that, I'm going to do the Deck the Halls. So I need to get that off the Stamparatus real quick. And I'm going to put it on a block. Now with these photopolymers, you got to be kind of careful because they stretch. So I tried to lay mine down on a grid paper, making the block, you know, fit into the grid, and then I try to look over it and look to see where the photopolymers, and I kind of let them flop where they want to flop, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm going to ink her up with some Versamark. And I can tell that I got a lot of good ink. Oh, I didn't do my, I'm terrible. I didn't do my embossing buddy. Well, let's see what happens, because I've got the other side. That was the purpose of not gluing it together. And it did well. I'm going to heat it. Let's see where it ends up. Oh, very pretty. Very, very pretty. I just love it. There you go. So we have that done, and look how pretty this is. I don't know if I gave you a close-up. Just beautiful. If you guys ever have any questions, you know, ask me. That's what I'm here for. So I'm going to glue this down. Oh, I know a tip I can tell you. If you do this card and you want exactly them, you know, to be exactly the same size, I always cut them together. I find that's the easiest way to do it. Just lay them up and cut them together. All right, and then I have my pretty ribbon, and it looks kind of crooked, doesn't it? Okay, I'm going to use glue dots on each end and then wrap it to the back. And if you have problems with it like sagging or something once you get it on, then you can always go back and put another glue dot up underneath with a paper piercer or something. Well, that thing is catwalking. We used to say that about trucks. All right, back to the dimensionals. We're almost done with card 2. That one went pretty quick. Oh, I didn't do an inside, did I? I'm not sure I did an inside for this one. Let me go and look. This was one of my favorite cards, though. I just love the velvet and the look of the rich look. Okay, so this one's I'm gonna flip it over. We're gonna line that puppy up. Very pretty. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but I've got the little gold metallic pearls. That's it's one of the new features, but it's in the annual catalog. And I'm going to put several. I'm going to use my pick tool. Show you guys how that works. And it's got four on this side it's got 4, come on, tools. And then over here, this little guy, this pulls off, and this is kind of a putty. And you can pick up things. Now, it's a little harder to pick things up when, well, let me get back to telling you the tools. This is like a two stylus, two different sides. And then here, this is the scalpel I was telling you about. And then it comes out and it's a paper piercer. So it's a cool little tool. It's $10, I believe. So if you were going to use it with picking this up, you're going to have to, well, I could use the other side. Get the spatula to loosen the bead or the pearl up. See if I can get it to, yep, there we go. And then you just keep working that putty. So Brenda, have you had any more trick-or-treaters? See, I got 1, 2, 3. So you got to do odd, remember. Never do even. I'm going to put that one right there. One more. One, 2, 3, 4. Put that one down there. 5. So those are the metallic, pearls. I've used a ton of these. Ton. Oh, and I see right here, I did not get that heated. So let me go back and heat it real quick. You can always tell when it's dull. There we go. Flashed up. All right, so did I do an inside for this one? I didn't. Okay, so we're gonna do this on the fly. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go grab the Blackberry Bliss. Blackberry Bliss, and I'm going to grab these little guys, and I'm going to clean them because it's got Versamark on it. Let's see if we're that way. I think what I'll do is just, I got a little ink on my fingers. Yeah, I think that's, let's see how that looks with words. I need some words. Words. I'm going to use those same words. It's a little crooked. Okay. Very pretty. I like it. All right, so there you go. And I would take the envelope and I will probably grab this and just maybe do. That's very pretty. So there you have it. That's very pretty. So that's card number 2. Let's move on. And let me clean my stamps because we're using the same stuff and I gotta have my stamps. So bear with me. I see we have 3 on here. Who else is here? Tell me, tell me. Say hello. Say hello. I guess I should just leave that out because I know I'm going to use it. All right, so that is the second card. All done. Let me put my stuff away. Oh, you know, well, could we have done something with the inside on that? What do you think? Could also have done that. Now this is just a scrap and I hate to throw it away, so I'm trying to use it. That's pretty. I think I'll glue it down. So remember to share. Get you a free pack of dimensionals. Well, I'll put your name and we will pull a name. Susan Coates won it last week for sharing. Thank you, Susan. And if you're downline, you share too if you want. It's open for everybody. So the end look is this. That's pretty. I like it a lot. Okay, enough. Let me put this away. And I need to stick it back in the bag because you know what? It ends up getting ink on it somehow. Somehow. So get them stuck away. Clean up my area. Let me leave all these stamps here though. Where is my gold? I think we're done with the gold. All right, so you guys ready for the last card? I did this one in our copper embossing along the same lines. Just got the tufted, I guess you can't really see it, the tufted, here it is. It's like diamonds, it's beautiful. Embossing folder, and I don't know if you can see it on the back here. So, and then here's the inside, and I'm going to show you how to use the embossing mat to get just, see, this was a framelit, and the embossing mat makes that impression. So it doesn't cut all the way through, but it makes that impression. So there's that card. All right, so let's get started. Got to get my goodies out. Do I ever make it through all the dimensions? I feel like I don't. So I'm going to try to be a good girl and do it this time. All right. I have a 4 1/4 by 11. I have a piece of black. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right back. It lines. I needed something to... so I put a piece of black on it and I was happy. So it is okay, I went ahead and I cut that 4 inches by 5 1/4 and then undercut the piece that lays on top of it by 1/8 of an inch. So it's 4 1/8 by 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So that's what this piece of vanilla is. So we're going to run it through the tufted. Now this is a dynamic folder. And the other thing that's really cool that they've started doing, Stampin' Up! Or Sizzix or whatever, is they've started giving us this line down here so that we can tell when our cardstock is straight in there. So the setup for this is a platform, your standard platform. I have the newer one, and we're going to use 1 clear plate. That's all you need. This thing is so thick that if you do it with 2, it just won't go through. So here I ran it through. here's the finished product. Now, if you want it to be a little deeper, they say spray it with water. This is what Stampin' Up! Tells us. I honestly don't see the difference. So maybe it's just that particular one. All right, so I gave you that. This is scrap. And then I'll show you, this is layering circles, and I'll show you, these were just scraps, so I'll show you how I got that later on. So here's my card base. I'm going to hold off putting the black down because I got to put my ribbon behind. I've got my tufted, so I'm going to glue it down to the black. Making sure all the borders are nice and even, and hopefully I cut it straight. That always makes a nice card if you can get your borders even all the way around. Your eyes can detect. See, that's off a little bit that way. All right, so the next step I'm going to do is put my ribbon down. And I'm going to use glue dots, and it's the same concept that I did on the earlier card. And I want this ribbon is Merlot. That's the color of this cardstock, is Merlot. I love it. I've been using it, so much of it. But this ribbon is Merlot on one side and copper on the other. Beautiful. And I want the copper side to show. So put it down here, maybe leaving 3/8 of an inch. All right, little bug. You got to go. Go find somewhere else. So I'm putting down the 2 legs. Now that piece was about 5 inches. This piece is 4 inches. And I'm just going to tuck it up underneath. Do a half knot. And then find out where I want it, get it the direction I want it. And this ribbon does fray pretty easy, so don't mess with it too much once you get it on there. I did find that out. All right, so at this point we can go ahead and put it down, and I'm going to use dimensionals because I don't, that ribbon can create bulk, and I just don't want to see the bulk. You guys still hanging in there? I hope you're liking the cards. If you do, I would like to see some hearts or something. All these cards are I came up with over the last week. I just love this stamp set. And the framelits. They're just, it's a beautiful, beautiful bundle. Yay, I saw some thumbs. Hey, Tana. I see your heart. Thank you, Tana. Glad you like them. All right, again, try to get your borders straight. So there we are with the tufted. All right, so now let's work on this piece. This is a part of the framelits, and it's this piece here, and it's interesting because it comes in 2 parts. You have this, which I need to get all the paper out of. And then you have the piece that actually cuts it out. So you got to line it up. So my recommendation is to put it down and use Post-it notes on the paper. And then when you, to hold it in place, I mean, even the magnetic really doesn't hold it in place. So, oh, thank you. Glad you're here, Tana. but anyways, you need to use a Post-it note, and that will hold it in place. So I went ahead and cut it out. So here is my cutout piece. So see how it, this framelit cut it out here. And then this framelit did the decorative doily. And I really think that this will come in the annual catalog, because I think it's a beautiful doily. Beautiful doily. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this guy down, and I'm going to use my silicone pad. Lay this up here and use a little bit of snail. Just kind of and if you don't want it to show through, just take your fingers and kind of just do that. Okay, so then, then this was the center. So I laid it down, and this was the center, and that's what I'm going to emboss on. So I'm going to save that. And then this piece came out of the layering circles. And it's the large circle in the layering circles. So I'll get that and show that to you guys. So if you don't have this, well, I know we've had circles before, but this one's really, really nice because you get all these circles, and then you also get scallops. So the circle I used was that one. It's the biggest framelit on there of the regular circles. And so I'm just going to glue that guy down. And this glimmer paper is a part of the, in the holiday catalog, and it is a part of the frosted. Yep, right here. And I'm sorry, it's the Joyous Noel, so it's this glimmer paper. You get 6 by 6, $15, and you get 8 of 3 colors. So it's very pretty. All right, looks like we're down to embossing, so I'm going to go get this. Where's my embossing buddy? Yay, I remembered. Woohoo! Versamark. This time we're going to use copper. And that's another one I had to go and get new powder because my old powder was just old. So remember that. If it's not popping up nice, you need to change your powder out because it does get old. You wouldn't think plastic would get old, but it does. So pretty. Of course, it hadn't even been... I just love that little dangly ornaments. And of course, this is Merlot. How you can tell it's old is it doesn't... See how nice and solid it is? I noticed on the old stuff that it would not, it wouldn't make a solid embossing. But this does fine. Pretty. I love it. Okay, there's that. Now I pop that up. I gotta get it straight. Look how pretty. Love it. And then the last piece is this little Merry Christmas. And let me get my cover on my copper powder, else I will have it everywhere. So I'm going to use that, and I'm going to use the Merlot. And my trick for this is I just take my grid paper, line it up, and just, this little sliver I think is 3/8. And it looks a little crooked. So I'm going to do it again. I don't know why I got a bumpy in my mat. Okay. Let's try it again. Much better. All right, so I'm just hand clipping this. You could put it on a paper cutter if you want. And I'm going to bring my silicone back in, and I'm just going to cover it with a bunch of snail. And it's going to go right here. I'm going to get that adhesive off. And you know, we don't sell these anymore. I'm so disappointed. So disappointed. All right, there's the front of the card. Let's see, what did I do? Oh, yes, let me show you this trick. So, I'm going to stamp first. And these words come out of this beautiful poinsettia. This May the Season Be Filled. I just like the large font, and I like the cursive font. And again, I'm gonna get this in the middle. Use my eyeballs. It's going downhill. We'll flip it. I think I got some ink on my fingers. All right, I got to get this straight. Yay! All right, so here's the trick with this embossing mat. Here's my framelit. And how this mat comes, it comes piece of white plate, a blue, and I thought I brought the gray over. Let me go grab it real quick. Well, it must be here because I don't have it where I thought I did. But you get a gray one, and you get this blue one, and the gray one is for thicker or thinner things. I don't see it, but at any rate, so the way you're going to set this up, this is called an embossing mat, and we're going to get this straight, and I'm just going to lay this framelit in the middle. And it is going to get placed on a standard base. And I'm going to, does that look crooked? Let me straighten it out. I think the paper's crooked. Ooh, I hear somebody coming to visit me. Hopefully it's friend and not foe. Friend or foe? Oh, it's my son. My son, my beautiful son. All right, you know what I'm going to do, guys? I'm going to grab a Post-it note because it is shifting. And it's because my plates are warped. And I don't want this to look cattywampus. You guys ever use cattywampus? All right, so that's my setup. You see that? It is the standard platform. It is the white plate that comes with the embossing mat. I've got the blue rubber, and then I placed my Thinlit on top of my cardstock facing the blue rubber, and then I got a clear plate on top. And we're going to run it through, and it's going to feel like it's doing nothing. I mean, it's very easy to roll through. And there you have it. Look how pretty. So, all right. That is it. That's the inside of my card. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember, share, and Tawny, you can share this video. I'm gonna give away. I'll put names in a hat and pull it for everybody that shares, and it's dimensionals this week. So share for me, and that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the cards. I thought they were very pretty. And if you have any questions, you can leave comments below. But that's it, folks. So you guys have a good evening, and I will catch you. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Judy. Next week I will be in convention, so there will not be a Facebook Live. So, but for you downline, I will do something for you on Sunday. So be sure to check in Sunday at 7, and I will see you after convention. All right, guys. Have a good evening. Bye.